Sorry about that. Or as the Canadians would say, sorry.
Sorry.
What's up, man? Thank you for being patient and hanging out in the queue. I very much appreciate that. I know you've got a busy day, and I love that you are all decked out. Is anything different from your? Oh, you know what's funny? The back over your left shoulder.
Yeah.
It says 18, and I was thinking to myself, no fucking way that's another Kirk Cousins tribute. But that says PGA 18, so that has nothing to do with Kirk Cousins.
That is a PGA championship signed by Xander Schauffele, my boy, flag from this year's PGA championship, which I just acquired a couple of days ago. So It is now my prized possession.
You like how I noticed that? I am an observant dude. That is new.
Brand new. 2 days ago.
Love it. Awesome.
It is 18 though, so it does fit.
Yep.
I see why you would think that it would be a Kirk Cousins thing.
What's over your right shoulder? Are those golf balls?
Those are golf balls from courses that I've been to. Yeah.
Okay, understood.
I do want, every time I go to a new course, I get a golf ball. So actually, the bottom 2 rows are actually the bottom row and a half are just normal like Titleist balls because I still have. I got to go to 8 and more new courses to fill that out.
Okay. Have you been to Cape Breton, by the way?
Yeah, not Cabot, no. But yeah, my parents are from Cape Breton.
That's what I meant. There's supposed to be like one of the nicest golf courses.
Yeah, it's the number 1 golf course in Canada. It's been ranked at like every year for like the past 20 years. Yeah, but it's expensive. So I have not been there yet, but someday I will go to Cabot.
Okay, lovely. Well, Iain, thank you for hopping on. And everybody, thank you for being patient. DGen also collects balls. Hilarious. I apologize for starting so late. It was a very hectic, busy morning. I'm doing my best. I am posted up on my personal hotspot right now, trying to conduct this stream because it's a very important stream. If you're not familiar with Iain, you see he's got his Twitter handle in there. Please give him a follow. Iain, I've told you I've been a fanboy of yours for a long, long time. Back in the days of when I thought you worked for covers, and apparently you never worked for covers. And maybe that's just because I thought you were Canadian and they're Canadian. So that maybe that's a little bit of a Canadian racism, if you will. And but anyways, you're now with Sports Illustrated. You have a podcast called Bacon Bets Podcast, which is great. So subscribe to that. It's on Apple, Spotify, everything. Am I missing anything else where people can find you?
Stacking the Box as well. It's the show where I actually talk non-betting stuff. The only time of the week I just talk football as football. So Stacking the Box podcast as well.
W Jules in Twitter says Iain is a suffering Leafs fan like myself. Yes. Is DGen wearing a wool blazer? I don't know what the material is.
You're looking sharp today, man. You're looking sharp.
I'm not I could have
No, keep the button undone. Keep the button undone. Yeah, come on.
I can't tell you the last time I wore a tie. But I had to do the blazer. I have a little bit of important things to do this morning, but now I'm wide open. So Iain, I want to have you on today. Well, I love having you on for anything because you're well versed in a lot of other sports. I think you bet on everything. Are you betting on every single NFL game this year?
I am. 272 games, 272 bets.
And what's your record right now?
My record right now is 31-32-1 for minus 2.17 units. So we're behind the 8 ball a little bit to start the season. But is anyone having a winning season in the NFL this year?
Yeah, the guy that you probably don't follow, but somebody in our community named Shady Beef, who is having a fantastic NFL season.
Props to him. It's been a tough one out there.
You know what's funny? He's also a big not just sides and totals, but player props and everything. He had your Falcons in Atlanta for a massive swing because he had Kirk Cousins over 1.5 touchdown passes, Atlanta money line, Atlanta to cover the spread, and Drake London anytime touchdown scorer. So it was maybe a 20-unit swing just on that last play, which was awesome. So anyways, let's get into it. Just wanted to shoot the shit for a few minutes, but we have enough people in here to get started. If you don't already know, which I'm sure a lot of my followers do, I am a Bucs fan. And now Iain, if you aren't familiar with Iain, you know he is an Atlanta Falcons fan. You are probably the only, actually check that. Sorry to Charlie, one of Steak and I's friends. Charlie's a good dude, air traffic controller. I respect that. I'm kind of a plain geek. He is also a Falcons fan within this community that I know he tunes in. So we might have a few other Falcons fans. I see people saying rise up. What does rise up mean? Is that what Falcons mean?
It's like the Falcons hashtag rise up. That's cool. It's relatively new. 5, 6, 8 years ago, maybe, but it's been around for a few years.
So. It's longer than I thought. So anyways, I got to tell you, we've never really had any sort of rivalry, you and I, because my team's been down in the dumps for a little bit. Well, not necessarily. I've had Tom Brady.
What are you talking about? You won the division last year. You won a Super Bowl 3 years ago. What are you talking about?
Listen. The Tom Brady thing doesn't really count for me. Yes, we won the division last year. Yes, we won a playoff game last year. I understand that. But before that, it was a pretty tough go of things. Okay. So it's been a long time and it's hard for me to really get back on this train, but I have gotten back on this train. And a lot of people also know, hand up, I was a bad fan last year. I don't really know if I've ever asked you how you feel about this, but listen, I think about the future. Okay. Not so much for myself. I just try to get by day to day, but for my sports teams, I really wanted the Bucs to be bad last year, and I wanted to draft a quarterback. And I was very nervous that Baker, we were going to pull a Geno Smith, which now Geno Smith doesn't look too bad, and pay Baker all this money and be in purgatory. I was wrong. Hand up. Bad fan of me?
Yeah, I mean, the chat's just lighting you up right now. First of all, you said that it's been a rough few years as a Buccaneers fan when you just won a Super Bowl like 4 years ago. You're just not counting the Tom Brady season for some reason. And then last year, you're saying you wish that your team sucks. So, poor DGen has to watch the Buccaneers win the division and then win a playoff game. Man, it must suck to be a Bucs fan.
Can I tell you something?
It must suck to be a Bucs fan.
Can I tell you something? Let me just say this. And I'm on an island, and that's fine. I will be on an island, but I have morals and I have values and I have ethics. And let me just tell you, I'm very happy that the Bucs won a Super Bowl for guys like Levante David and Mike Evans, who I absolutely love. Mike Evans, favorite athlete, let alone Bucs player of all time.
Sure.
Can you imagine if you have these core group of guys on your team that you love, and then you win a Super Bowl, and the only players to really contribute and do anything and score points in that Super Bowl, are Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, Antonio Brown, and Leonard Fournette. Does that really, in your heart of hearts, does that sit right with you?
Yes, dude, it's a Super Bowl. I've been waiting 32 years of my life for a championship.
I've had one.
Bring every player in. I don't care. Bring Tom Brady back out of retirement. Bring every player we can. I don't care if a single member of the current Falcons scores in the Super Bowl. Who gives a shit?
You don't feel
kidding
like
me?
Dirty? You don't feel like that's dirty?
No,
I don't like.
No, dude. I don't care. We should cheat. We should start stealing film. I don't care how we get a Super Bowl. Cheat. Do steroids. I just want a Super Bowl.
So who's your favorite basketball team? The Toronto Raptors?
I'm not a basketball guy.
Okay, fine. Then forget
I cheer for the Raptors, but I'm not like a Raptor. Like the Raptors winning, I was happy for them, but I wasn't like I didn't feel like that was my win.
Okay, that's fine. Well, in a way, like the Raptors were relevant because they got Kawhi Leonard, and then he just up and left. But like that was cool for the city of Toronto because no offense, city of Toronto is kind of like Loserville. Now, maybe listen, I'm sorry, no offense, but I want the Blue Jays to be good. I want the Leafs to be good. Don't worry. But maybe it's because when I grew up and I was a Bucs fan and I watched the Bucs, yeah, like we signed Brad Johnson. But we had our fucking dudes in there. And yeah, we signed Keyshawn Johnson, whatever. But we had so many core guys that the team was built on. It just sucked a little bit to whore ourselves out and win a Super Bowl. Anyways.
You know what sucks even more? Having a core group of guys who you absolutely love. They get to the Super Bowl, they get up 28-3, and then have the worst collapse in Super Bowl history. That's what sucks.
That does suck. Ian, that actually
no Super Bowl for Matt Ryan, no Super Bowl for Julio Jones. I would have loved if someone could have stepped in, a free agent, and then they contributed big in that Super Bowl and prevented us from blowing the lead. At least my guys would have had a ring.
You want to know? What's funny? Every year in the Super Bowl, I pick a player to be like my guy, and I go all in on. That year, it was Mohamed Sanu. Then he did nothing.
Shout out Mohamed. Hey, he contributed that season. Maybe not in the Super Bowl, but.
Fair enough.
He's a consistent target.
Okay.
That's actually who the Falcons need right now is a Mohamed Sanu. I would love to have Mohamed Sanu.
Let me just ask you one more question. In your years of, and then we'll talk about the game tonight. In your years of being an NFL fan, did you hate the New England Patriots when all they did was win?
Oh yeah.
You did?
My dad was a Rams fan, so the first actual NFL game I ever sat down and watched was the Patriots' very first Super Bowl. So my introduction to the NFL was Tom Brady is the bad guy. The Patriots are the bad guys.
Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so this is kind of what I'm getting at here. This is great. It's kind of like we're in a courtroom. So you hated Tom Brady?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
he's my least favorite athlete of all time.
And
I think almost even more now.
Okay, what's interesting, Ian? I too hated Tom Brady. I too hated the New England Patriots. Now imagine this. Imagine a guy who you hated for 16 years because all they did was win. All of a sudden, you have to cheer for him. Is that easy to do?
It would be tough at the start. If he won me a Super Bowl, I wouldn't care, and I would become the biggest fan. And I almost had to do that this offseason because there was rumors Bill Belichick was going to sign with the Falcons. So I was preparing for my head coach to be Bill Belichick, but it didn't.
That was never going to happen, by the way.
Yeah, probably not.
But
yeah, no, at the start, it would have been tough. But if he won me a Super Bowl, I wouldn't then, like, 2 years later, be like, man, I kind of wish we didn't win that Super Bowl. Oh, I had to be Tom Brady to win it. No, I'd be like, we won a Super Bowl. Who cares?
Okay, fine. Listen, I'm not even trying to be a contrarian. It's just genuinely how I feel. Greg was over at my house. I had a little mini Super Bowl party with just him and his wife, and he saw me. And he's like, you're not even really excited. I was like, yeah, it's cool. It's whatever. Just felt like we were whoring ourselves out. Anyways, let's talk about
I respect the honesty. That's a wild take in my opinion, but I do respect the honesty.
Yeah, and I'm not even just trying to be like that guy. Like, look at me on an island. It's just organically how I feel. And you just said it yourself. We hated Tom Brady. It's just hard. I'm sorry. Anyways, I want to talk about the game tonight. First and foremost, before we talk about this Bucs Falcons matchup, I need to know from your perspective, because you're an honest guy. You're not a very say whatever you what people want to be told. You tell it like it is. I respect your opinion as a sports fan. As an Atlanta Falcons fan, can you tell me with a straight face that you very easily could and maybe should be 0-4?
What? No. What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
I mean, so yeah, 3 games came down to the very end, and 2 of them went our way. But I mean, also you can make the argument we could be 3-1. I mean, that Chiefs game easily could have gone our way too. I mean, that's football. I mean, how many teams could you point to who? I'm not going to apologize for being 2-2. How many teams can you look at that like some of their wins and losses of the Chiefs could be 0-4? Every single one of the Chiefs game has come down to the very end. You look at the Chiefs and say maybe they should be 0-4. The Jaguars could be 3-1 right now.
I agree, but don't you think that if you were a Chiefs fan, you could admit we could be 0-4?
I mean, we could be 0-4. Yeah, we could be 3-1.
We
could be 4-0 if a couple plays in the first game went. I mean,
you never had a chance against the fucking Steelers.
No, we didn't.
No.
So yeah, okay. Yeah, we could be, but like it's not like the games were absolutely handed to us. I mean, I would say that the Saints, the Saints win, I would accept that argument a little bit more than the Eagles win. The Eagles win was just a back and forth game, and Kirk Cousins caught fire the final drive and won it. So I would accept the argument for the Saints game. We may not have deserved to win last week, but I think we deserve to beat the Eagles.
It's interesting. So I guess the Falcons, or I'm sorry, the Eagles game, which I watched a decent amount of, I don't know that you deserved to win that game, but in a way I'm happy you did, because it was almost like the Eagles just completely, I mean, they did everything wrong, and I'm glad that a team made them pay for it. You said Kirk Cousins caught fire. And I'm not even just kidding. I think Kyle Trask could have made those throws. And I'm not taking anything away from him, but it's not like he was making unbelievable plays. The coverage was just unacceptable.
Yeah, I mean, little A, little B.
But I'm very, very happy. I hate the Falcons, but I'm very happy with the Falcons did what they did, because I'm starting to really just hope that Sirianni crashes and burns and gets fired.
Listen, the amount of games I've sat through in my life as a Falcons fan where we lose those close games, I'm not going to feel bad about winning a couple of them to start this year.
Yeah, but here's
the old Falcons teams lose both of those games 9 times out of 10.
Very true. Now here's the thing. Here's what I want to bring up. Aside from your record, you're 2-2. You could easily be 0-4. The Saints game, I can't believe you got out of there with a win with the muff punt and not scoring a touchdown. Hold on. Let's take the record away. I don't know why you're laughing so much.
That's what could be 0-4. Anyone could be 0-4.
I'm just starting to wonder. Yeah, the Bills could have easily lost to the Jags. I'm just starting to wonder now, are Atlanta Falcons fans becoming a little delusional? Because we have a couple Atlanta Falcons bettors here, and let me tell you, these guys are drinking this Kirk Cousins Kool-Aid to the point where it's making me want to vomit.
No, listen, because I'm a Falcons fan, like I follow a lot of Falcons fans on social media. I'm on a couple Falcons message boards. No, the Falcons fans are. Nobody probably has less faith in the Falcons than Falcons fans.
What am I saying right now to where I sound like a dumbass?
Well, saying the Falcons should be 0-4 is just wild.
Is it?
Could be 0-4, yes. Should be 0-4, no.
I think that's crazy. Should be. This guy is the most I've never seen someone get so emotional with a bet. Hold on. It's not even noon, DJ. Why are you drunk? I'm not drunk. Does anybody agree with me in the chat that the Falcons
doesn't look like it?
I know it doesn't look like, which is crazy. Does anybody agree with me that the Falcons could and maybe should be 0-4? Am I crazy?
Those are two very different things. Could and should are two very different things.
Nobody agrees with me. Could, yes.
Saucy Bets agreed with you.
I know what you're saying, but you're pushing it too hard. 1-3. Okay. All right. Could be. I disagree, DJ. Shut up, Brian. You don't even know what's going on. Okay, fine. Anyways, yeah. All right. Have fun. Here's the thing. Through 4 weeks of football, record aside, what's your takeaway from this team? And before I let you talk, I just want to tell you my quick thoughts. I think your defense is pretty legit, which is concerning to me, because a good defense can bail you out a lot of times, and I think they have done that. Your offense really leaves a lot to be desired when I feel like there's a lot of potential to do so much more. But you got a lot of new pieces, got a new coaching staff. It's a long season. So what's your takeaway through 4 weeks on the Atlanta Falcons team? What's the state of the Atlanta Falcons right now, offensive and defensively?
Yeah, defensively, we're fine. We don't have a pass rush, which I expected going into the season. Even getting Judon was going to fix that issue. There are some talks we might trade for Hassan Reddick. I don't know if that's going to fix the issue too, but we don't have a pass rush. But our secondary is very good. Our linebackers, who nobody knows who they are, have been one of the most impressive units on the team, probably the most impressive unit on the team. So I'm fine with the defense. Offensively, kind of tricky. So I've obviously watched every single Falcons game. When I'm watching the games, I'm like, they're moving the ball, but they're not getting anything out of it. So I kind of looked into the numbers this week and where their issues lie. And I don't know if this is caused by Kirk Cousins kind of still being a little bit rusty. I think it's more so Zach Robinson is a first-time offensive coordinator. He's
who is he and where is he from?
He was the passing game coordinator for the Rams. So Raheem Morris came over from the Rams and he took other Rams assistant coaches with him. So he's like the passing game coordinator. This is his first time being an actual sole offensive coordinator, first time play calling. So I think he's kind of trying to find his stride a little bit as well. But where the Falcons struggle, which is they got to fix or else we're not going to make the playoffs. Third down and red zone. We're like 29th in third down conversion rate and like 30th in red zone touchdown scoring percentage. So we're kind of moving the ball on first and second down when we're like in our own end and in midfield, but we can't convert they're converting like 24% of third downs, which you can't have that. And then only scoring a touchdown 40% of the time they get in the red zone. So if they fix those two things, if they can start converting third downs and start, converting red zone trips to touchdowns, we're going to be a good offense. Because we have been moving the ball. I think we're top 10 in yards per play. So we generally move the ball, but then in key moments, we just piss down our legs. So that's my evaluation right now. I should have expected the Falcons to start off slower than I did expect, but it makes sense. A new quarterback coming off an injury, a new offensive coordinator. It does make sense that we're going to have a few hiccups to start the year.
Yeah, and I will give the Atlanta Falcons credit. Listen, they've had a really tough start to the schedule. I think playing the Steelers, which is hilarious because everybody that drank the Falcons Kool-Aid and had the Falcons as their week one lock -3 didn't say anything nice about the Steelers. And after week one, it was like, what are you talking about? The Steelers have a top 5 defense. Not naming names, fat girls. But anyways, you played the Steelers defense, and then you go on the road. You have a primetime game in Philadelphia, which Philadelphia's defense is absolutely ass cheeks, and you had 15 points throughout the entire game. No big deal. You came out with a win. Gritty. I'll give it to you. Gritty. You're 1-1. Then you have another primetime game against the Chiefs. I don't care who you're playing. Back-to-back primetime games is still – you don't see that very often. Then after that, you have a divisional opponent coming into town, followed by another divisional opponent coming into town. So, look, I'll give the Falcons credit. To start with a new quarterback, new coaching staff, for that 5-week schedule, if you come out of this thing 3-2, you have to be pretty ecstatic, I think, all things considered.
Yeah, I expected to be 2-2 at this point in the season. Now, I expected the win to be against the Steelers and a loss to the Eagles, but at the end of the day, we're 2-2. So if we can get to 3-2, we're fine. And I do want to shout out some people in the chat who've been saying this. I think Strong Simba said it as well. We got to trade Kyle Pitts. I'm out on Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts stinks, and a lack of a tight end kills us.
What are you going to get for Kyle Pitts?
Anything that we get now would be more than we can get for him in 4 weeks' time. So you may as well just get I'll take a fourth. He stinks. He can't block. He can't create separation. He can't do anything.
Listen to what you just said. A 4th-round pick for a guy that can't do anything? You're lucky if you get a fucking blueberry muffin. That is unbelievable.
Send a message out to the 31 other teams and say, give us your best offer for Kyle Pitts, and whoever has the best offer. And if the best offer is a 6th, then give me a 6th, because he's a waste of space. If he could block, it'd be like, all right, just keep. He can't block. He can't block. He can't create separation. I invested in a Kyle Pitts signed helmet. If anyone in the chat wants to buy a Kyle Pitts signed helmet, I'll sell it to you for like a pack of gum.
Well, I have to tell you,
he's a bum.
So two things. One, thank you for that take, because I think you just brought me back into the race a little bit here and made it more evenly competitive, because 4th round for Kyle Pitts is insane. I don't even know if you can get a 7th. You might get an 8th round pick for him, and there's not even an 8th round in the draft. So I will tell you this. I too was a big Kyle Pitts guy. At the time, actually this maybe was before you even lived in New York. Did you live in New York when Kyle Pitts got drafted?
No, I don't think so.
So back in the day, this was about 4 or 5 years ago, you used to have to drive to New Jersey to go to FanDuel Sportsbook at MetLife. And I drove there, and I made, at the time, the largest wager I ever made in my life. It was $1,500. It was 15 units for me on Kyle draft Pitts under 5.5 draft position. I didn't even know who was going to get him. I really actually thought the Niners might pair him up with George Kittle. They drafted Trey Lance, which was insane. But I have a lot of friends who are Gators fans. I watch Gators games. I thought this guy was like the next generational athlete, like the next big thing. In an era where tight ends were becoming like that weapon that every team wanted. So I said, I don't even fucking care who takes him. Somebody's taking him. So he went 4th, I believe, to the Falcons. Hit my bet, obviously. Unfortunately, I didn't give it all back, but I gave a lot back, because I took the following season, I took his over yards, over catches, and over touchdowns. And that went 0 for 3. I thought it was a little bit, I would compare it to like how the Giants handled Kadarius Toney, who I also thought was a pretty good, talented weapon. And I'm just thought to myself, it's an organizational thing. It's not the player thing. Why would these teams draft these players if they don't know how to use them properly? But now I'm starting to think it's a Kyle Pitts thing. Would you agree?
Well, yeah, I mean, he had a solid first year with Matt Ryan. He had 1,000 yards, and then his quarterback.
Impossible. First year?
Yeah, first year with Matt Ryan, he had 1,000 yards.
I thought I lost that bet. Okay, anyways, continue.
I mean, I'll look it up as I'm talking. I'm almost positive. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Here, I have it right here. He had his first year at 1,026 yards.
Oh, maybe I went 1 and 2 then. Okay, never mind.
He had 68 catches, 1,026 yards.
How many touchdowns? 2.
Why can't I? Why can't I see touchdowns on this? What?
I'll take the Kyle Pitts helmet. I'll take Kyle Pitts helmet just for the helmet. Huge Dirty Birds fan.
He had 1 touchdown his rookie year.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I definitely lost that one. Anyways, okay.
Then his quarterback in his second year was Marcus Mariota, and then his quarterback in his third year was Desmond Ridder. So I thought it was a quarterback issue, because if he had a great rookie year with Matt Ryan, obviously a good quarterback, and then 2 bad years with 2 of the worst starting quarterbacks in franchise history, I thought bring Kirk Cousins in. It's going to be the difference maker. And actually in week 1, 3 catches with a touchdown, but since then he's done almost nothing. And I see, clips of film on Twitter, and he just doesn't create separation. You look at the advanced separation numbers, whatever those are, nothing. He can't create separation. I already knew he was like the worst blocking tight end of all time. I said heading into the season, just move him out at slot receiver. Don't even put him at tight end anymore. But that's a waste of time too. If he can't create separation and he can't block, then he can't do anything for me. Because he can't even play special teams. If you're going to play special teams, you at least got to be able to block.
The disappointing thing with him, though, is the other, the separation argument was also had for George Pickens. I'm a big George Pickens guy, talent-wise. And he doesn't really need separation. He still makes plays. He still makes catches. He's kind of a dog. Kyle Pitts, I don't even see him making, good catches when it's a 50-50 shot. He just doesn't have it, which is crazy, because in college he had everything, in my opinion. So I don't know. The 180 on Kyle Pitts is crazy. Let me ask you this, and then we'll start talking about the game tonight. There's really not much I think to say about the defense. They're a sound unit. They've got good pieces. I hate that they got Judon and Simmons, but on your offense, or offensively, I should say, outside of Drake London, we know Kyle Pitts sucks. I don't really know who else you can go to You've got Bijan, but it doesn't really seem like he's off to a great start this season.
That's
Is Drake London a bit underwhelming? Is it a lack of playmakers, or do you think it's Kirk Cousins still trying to get comfortable and acclimated in this offense?
No, I think it is a mix of both. Kirk Cousins getting acclimated. I think especially in week 1 and a little bit in week 2, he's still a little bit nervous about his Achilles. I mean, they didn't run a single play action he didn't do a single play under center or play action in week 1, which is Kirk Cousins where he shines is in play action when he's under center. So, and then, like I said, Zach Robinson is not only his first year in Atlanta, his first year ever being an offensive coordinator. So I think it's a little mix of a lot of things. I think they're trying to figure out exactly what they want to do with both Algier and Bijan, because Algier, to be honest, has been a little bit more of an effective runner. But Bijan's still electric, and we want to get the ball in Bijan's hands as much as possible, especially in the passing game. The other guys that we picked up at receiver actually have impressed me this year. Darnell Mooney has looked pretty good as a deep threat. Ray McLeod has been fantastic, actually. So, no, I think the offense is fine. We definitely need to improve, but I'm not pushing the panic button about the offense.
Okay. All right. That's more than fair. Okay. So in terms of the game tonight, I believe the Falcons were a 3-point favorite. They're down to 1.5 or maybe 2. The total was 44.5. I think that's down to 43.5. Side total player props. Where are you allocating your funds in this game tonight?
My bet on the side is the Falcons. At the end of the day, the Falcons preseason were the better team. They were the favorites to win the NFC South. They had the highest projected win total in the NFC South. I haven't seen enough through the first 4 weeks for me to all of a sudden think that the Buccaneers are as good as the Falcons, because 1.5-point favorites, that would mean neutral site. Basically, you pick them. Maybe Buccaneers would even be a slight favorite at neutral site by like half a point or a point. Stop. The Buccaneers are the definition of an average team. No matter what stat you want to look at, no matter what metric you want to look at, offensively, they're probably above average. Defensively, they're probably below average. They rank between 10 and 20 in just about everything. The Falcons have a much higher upside for sure. And the Buccaneers can't stop the run. Not enough people are talking about how bad the Buccaneers are at stopping the run. Like 30th, 31st, and I think 32nd in opponent yards per carry, opponent rush EPA, opponent rush success rate. The Falcons are going to be able to run the ball down the Buccaneers' throat. So the Falcons got to convert third down, though. If the Buccaneers can stop them on third down, like Falcons have been stopped all season, they're going to be in this game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. Falcons are the better team. We all knew that before the season started. Let's not overthink what happened in the first 4 weeks. But the Falcons are the better team. They're going to win.
You ever seen the movie Old School?
Yeah, of course.
You know when
my boy Blue.
Yeah, you know when Will Ferrell gets the tranquilizer dart in his neck?
Yep.
And he says, "I like you, man, but you're crazy."
Yep.
I like you, but I hate everything you just said.
Point out where what I said that was incorrect, though. Everything I said was an objective fact.
You brought up the preseason rankings, the win total, and the odds to win the division. And then all you did when you talked about my beloved Buccaneers was some bullshit ranking metrics, not the fact that we went into Detroit and kicked their ass. No, we didn't really kick their ass. They moved the ball on us.
Yeah, you want to talk about should have lost a game.
Oh, so now that's a thing.
No, I'm not saying it's a thing. You made it a thing, and now I'm relating it to the Buccaneers.
Okay, hold on. Fair enough. You go into Detroit and you come out with a win. That apparently means nothing. How about you start off the season dog walking the Washington Commanders? Jaden Daniels, who looks pretty fucking good, I think, can't even throw a pass to a wide receiver, barely gets 20 points. Meanwhile, they go and play 3 other teams. They don't even punt. All they do is score. It's the best thing on turf, but not in Tampa, not against Todd Bowles' defense. Okay, so yeah, they come back. They blow it against the Broncos, who also have a pretty nasty defense. They were fat and happy after that huge revenge game win. And then what do? How do they respond? This team, you just said the definition of an average team. Horseshit. I think that this is a good team because they responded by coming out, and you just said something about can't stop the run. How many yards of offense did Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley have against the Bucs defense?
Someone in the chat said opponent run yards per carry is not 30th. You're right, they're 29th. My mistake, guys. The Buccaneers are 29th in opponent yards per carry, not 30th. My bad. Oops. And the Eagles got 5.7 yards per carry against them. So that answers your question.
So in the first half of that game, They had 0 yards. I believe we all saw the graphic. It was like 266, just about the first half. The Bucs went up. I think they were up 21-0. Blink of an eye, lickety split, because Todd Bowles is coaching his ass off. Baker Mayfield is ready to fucking play. And they came out and they were ready to put on a better show for the home fans. They said, They said, no mas. No more fucking around. No more 26-7 to the Broncos. Then they played soft, just like the fucking Eagles did against the Falcons, and let them back into the game a little bit. Let them pick up that yards and that bullshit, which is only things that people like you see, rather than the fucking gritty ass wins and W's. Listen, not all of us can get handed wins on a silver platter by the Eagles prevent defense and the fucking Saints muffing punts into the end zone. All right. It must be nice.
This is insane.
But to disrespect the Bucs like that is crazy. I am at least over here as a divisional foe, at least giving you some credit and saying you have a really hard start to the schedule. The offense is going to take some time. I understand that, and your defense is good. You just gave the Buccaneers, all you did was shit on them.
Okay, do you want me to say something positive about the Buccaneers?
Say something nice about the Tampa Bay
Buccaneers. I have a bet on a Buccaneer tonight.
I took
Baker Mayfield over 22.5 completions.
Oh, that's interesting. And what makes you like that?
The strength of the Falcons defense is their safeties. Probably the best safety duo in the NFL, Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons. Teams, because of that, are throwing a lot of short passes, a lot of flat routes, a lot of things to the sidelines. And because of that, the Falcons are allowing the 10th fewest yards per pass attempt, but their third highest opponent completion percentage, I think it is. Like, teams are completing like almost 75% of passes against them, because they're avoiding throwing deep to the safeties. So quarterbacks are getting a lot of completions, but not a lot of yards. So I think Baker Mayfield might not throw for 250 yards tonight, but I think he's going to get like 26, 27 completions. And he's gone over the number 3 the 4 games already this season. So
I do too.
I think listen, do you want me to say I'm afraid of Baker Mayfield tonight? I'm a little afraid of Baker Mayfield tonight. I'm afraid of you guys have 2 elite receivers. We have not yet played a team this season that has 2 elite receivers. We have a very good corner in AJ Terrell. Mike Hughes, the other corner, has impressed me so far this season. But do I like Mike Hughes going up against Chris Godwin? Not really.
Sorry, I just saw this. I could do this.
Oh, yeah.
No, I heard everything you said, and I like what you said. We do have 2 elite receivers, and we have Baker Mayfield, who apparently is he's in the right spot. He's in the right fit. I haven't heard you say anything about Todd Bowles. Do you respect him as a coach?
No, not really.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm not saying he's bad, but he's fine.
That's fine. Okay, so and Raheem Morris used to coach the Buccaneers.
Yes.
So this is maybe a little bit of a revenge game. So fun fact, I mean, that's when I lived in Florida. I went to training camp. I bought all into Josh Freeman. I still have his jersey. I have actually many Josh Freeman shirts and things like that. I was all in on him, and Raheem Morris was the coach. He coined the term Youngry, which I really love and got excited about. The Bucs went 10-6. It was awesome. I like Raheem Morris because I love what he did with the Rams defense. That Rams team last year, people forget, they had the 4th best odds to have the worst record in the NFL, and they made it to the playoffs. They overachieved with a bunch of no names on defense. I hate that he is in the division because he's a guy that I'm rooting for, and I really do think the Falcons could be a problem. I know the Michael Penix Jr. draft pick was hilarious, but if this guy, and he's like 25 years old, but if this guy ends up being a good quarterback with a young coaching staff, I think that the Falcons could be a problem for years to come. The Kirk Cousins interim, while he's a quarterback, I like Kirk. I've been on Kirk to win the MVP more times than I would like to admit. There is just something about that jersey you're wearing that I cannot. No. Kirk in Atlanta, to me, I just can't do it. I can't do it. It doesn't intimidate me.
We have had success with dorky white guys at quarterback in playing in Atlanta, which doesn't exactly match up with the vibe of the city. But it's worked for us. Matt Ryan was a dorky white quarterback. I think Kirk Cousins is kind of like the next Matt Ryan. Although even dorkier, so maybe that means he'll get us a Super Bowl.
Matt Ryan was such a stick of butter. I couldn't stand Matt Ryan. But okay, so anyways, I'm going to tell you what I think about this game. I am not comfortable betting the Bucs, and I will tell you why I'm not comfortable betting the Bucs. The Falcons.
I mean, I just told you I like the Falcons -1.5, and you shit on me for 5 minutes. And now you're like, yeah, but by the way, I actually don't like the Buccaneers
shocker. You're also the guy that said you spent your entire life hating Tom Brady, but you would sell your soul to the devil to get a championship. Listen, I'm going to tell you why I'm scared about betting the Bucs tonight. Because the Falcons, the two narratives are this. This is what I hate. The Bucs just looked very good, albeit apparently on the metrics and the rankings, they didn't look that good. The Bucs looked very good. I saw people in the chat just say, I'm not really putting too much stock into that win because the Eagles are dog shit. I get it. The Eagles were without everybody. But at the same time, the Bucs still went offensively and did whatever they want to that defense. A defense that Kirk Cousins and the Falcons can only muster up 15 points against. I still think the Bucs, what?
Score more than 15 points against the Eagles.
Yeah, but that last minute doesn't really count. Hold on. Let me just.
Well, you keep saying crazy things. I have to interrupt.
I just don't think that's crazy. Anyways, you would say the Chiefs. You would say if they were in that situation, you would say it about the Chiefs. You'd probably say it about anybody else other than the Falcons.
I wouldn't say.
Hold on. Let me just finish. Here's what I don't like. I don't like that the Bucs just look really good. Okay. And I don't like the Falcons just scrape by and we're very lucky to get a win against the Saints team who had none of their offensive line, needed a pass interference kick, a game-winning field goal, because I think, and I could be wrong here, I think people are becoming not very, higher on the Bucs and a wee bit lower on the Falcons. And I'm concerned that going into this game, the Falcons might be this trendy offseason pick to win the division, do everything you just said. Whereas now, everybody isn't as high on them in this particular matchup because of what just happened the last week. So I'm a little bit nervous because I think personally as a fan, and this is also why I'm nervous, this is all tying in together. As a fan, and I've been in this situation a long time, as a fan, I think I should wake up tomorrow and the Bucs should win this game. I think the Bucs should win this game by 10 points. I hate when I feel like that. Because typically what happens as a fan is you get your soul crushed. Unless you were a New England Patriots fan for 16 years when we hated the same person. But anyways, I feel like there is just some weird voodoo shit that's going to happen tonight that's going to go on the Falcons side. I also don't like
that. Nice for a change.
I also don't like that they didn't score an offensive touchdown because I think that they're probably going to respond better offensively against a Bucs defense that is definitely susceptible to having points scored on them. At the same time, though, like you just said with Baker, I agree. I think Baker and the Bucs offense with their two elite wide receivers are going to score some points. Mm-hmm. Thus, I like the over.
Yeah.
I like the over.
Yeah. What's the total out again?
43.5.
Yeah.
It's gone down a point. And I think I see a lot of people. I'm not even trying to be contrarian here. I don't care what everybody is on or not on. I see the Bucs scoring points. Unfortunately, I see the Falcons scoring points. This could be, I'm not ashamed to admit this could be Kirk Cousins' best game as an Atlanta Falcon. It really could be. So I think we're going to see like a 27-24 game. I don't know who has 27.
I do agree with that part. This is I have a thought about the Buccaneers, and I want to know if you agree with it. Do you agree that they are what I would call a high ceiling, low floor team, where the Buccaneers at their best are very good, but Buccaneers, like we saw against the Broncos, are also susceptible to looking terrible? Like the variance between a Buccaneers A+ game and a Buccaneers F game might be bigger than, like, that variance might be a larger variance than any other team in the NFL.
I think that's a really interesting question. And I think if I have to give you a yes or no answer, I would say, yes, I would agree with you. Here's the thing too. I'm a very realistic fan. Like I like to bullshit and fuck around and talk shit about the Falcons being 0-4, which I still think probably could have happened. Hold on. But anyways, yes. Hold on. Yeah. Here is what I will tell you that I think that maybe you'll resonate with me a little bit, and maybe you'll understand. The Dave Canales love when he got hired as the Carolina Panthers head coach for being this guy who revived Geno and revived Baker. I was like supportive of it because he seems like a good, like, young type of guy, offensive minded, that is a good hire. I was not, like, as a Bucs fan last year. And again, I was a bad fan. I was hoping that we would do poorly to get a high draft pick. I still wasn't overly impressed with a lot of our offense. I really wasn't. Until later in the season when I saw them do some things like go into Lambeau Now, granted, that was a Joe Barry defense, but went into Lambeau, scored like 34-something points, and Baker Mayfield had the best performance by an opposing quarterback in Lambeau Field. And I was like, man, I didn't expect this from this Bucs team. But as you just said, their ceiling is very high. Mm-hmm. I like the new guy in charge, Liam Cohen, this young dude, again, from the McVay tree. I like what I'm seeing from the offense. I will take out the Broncos game. And yeah, we didn't really do much against the Lions, but you're smiling. Hold on, I'm going to wrap this up here in a second. Baker makes a few plays a game that have to be made in order to win. And he did it with his legs. He did it with his legs last year, too, week 1 against the Vikings. And knocking out a survivor. He did it week 2 against the Lions where he juked that guy. Baker has some dog and some grit. You've got the receivers. And I just think that the Bucs, if they can get healthy, because they're missing some really key parts, they need Vita Vea. You're still holding back laughs. I don't know what you're laughing about. I feel like everything I'm saying is factual. But they have, in my opinion, they have enough core guys. Hold on, I'm going to wrap this up.
I'm not even. Go ahead.
Well, you just can't wait to erupt with laughter. So I can't wait to find out what's funny. This is what I'm going to say. You've got a core veteran dude in Mike Evans. You've got a veteran, experienced, great tackle in Tristan Wirfs. You got a quarterback who's been in the league, journeyman with a chip on his shoulder. And you've got Levante David, who I can't believe he's still playing at the level he is, but a veteran guy on defense. And then you put it all together and you've got Todd Bowles, who I don't think he was a very good coach, but I think something clicked with him after what the Bucs did last year. He's a lot looser. He's a little bit more energetic. He's got more of a personality. You are smiling ear to ear. This is hilarious. What I think, and I'm not even just being a prisoner of the moment because the Bucs are off to a pretty good start this year because we're probably going to lose tonight. But what I think is it's not as low of a floor as the Bucs haters might think, because those veterans, that chip on your shoulder, Baker Mayfield and Todd Bowles, refuse to let it happen. Case in point, look at the response after that fucking shitty performance at home against the Broncos. How can you not love that? They drove down the field immediately. Score, bam. That was fuck you. We won't do it again. Sorry, fans. How can you not love that? So I think it's more of I think the Bucs have a higher ceiling than a lower floor, but yes, I would agree.
I don't know how to handle like your takes, because you started the show saying that like you were kind of pissed that you won a Super Bowl a couple years ago because the guys who cheer for it didn't score in the Super Bowl. You talked about how you've lived a tortured life as a Buccaneers fan the past handful of years, which makes zero sense. I don't have a championship in any of the teams I cheer for and across any sport. And now like you're giving the Buccaneers a Gluck 5,000 because Baker Mayfield's your quarterback. What are we doing? Like what?
I said Todd Bowles.
Do you just like it when your team is like kind of average and you hate it when your team's good? Like I don't know what to do with you right now.
No. So okay, handful of years being like recency was a wrong way to phrase it. You have to understand that gap from the 2002 championship, which was amazing, absolutely amazing. And to be completely honest with you, the NFC Championship. I don't know if you remember this, how into the Bucs or football at the time you were. The Bucs could not get past the Philadelphia Eagles. They beat the Eagles in Philadelphia last game at the Vet. That win was almost like I celebrated that more than the Super Bowl. It was a very weird feeling, but beating the shit out of the Raiders was awesome. Don't get me wrong. But that gap from then, because I don't know if you remember this, we returned almost everybody the next year, and everybody thought we were going to go back to the Super Bowl, and it sucked. It was bad. And then it's been bad for a really long time. And then, yes, it got good. We got some dudes, and we got Tom Brady. Okay, it was like, blip. That isn't enough for me to be like, oh, things are great.
I want the chat to chime in. If you're a fan of a bad team in the chat, let me know. Because if you would take one Super Bowl and then like hold on, one Super Bowl and then 16 years of like below average teams and then another Super Bowl, I think you would take that. I would take that. I would take that in a heartbeat. If you could give me a Super Bowl this year, I'll take the next 18 years being trash. Then I got a Super Bowl at the other end.
I'm not saying anybody should or shouldn't take it. I'm just saying I don't necessarily. Let's be honest. We knew Tom Brady was a rental to begin with. How am I really going to get invested? Great. He came in, he won a Super Bowl. I'm happy for the guys. What else do you want me to tell you? I'm happy for the guys. The core guys.
Be happy
Not
for
the rentals.
yourself.
Not the Gronkowskis, the Antonio Browns, the Leonard Fournettes. Not the rentals. I'm happy for the guys. Now we're back. We're back with something to prove, and we're proving it. I'm very happy. I like the trajectory of this team. But I'm not just saying Baker Mayfield being the quarterback. I said the vets on each side and Todd Bowles. I am believing in Todd Bowles.
But also, isn't like Baker Mayfield like if Baker Mayfield played on previous teams, is he a rental like Tom Brady? Like why is Tom Brady different than Baker Mayfield?
He was going to be. Well, come on, Tom Brady was like at the end of his career. You knew he was just making one more stop to prove a point to Belichick, say fuck you, and then he's done. No, Baker's young. He's like what, 28, and he got paid. So I was scared because he wasn't a rental. I thought it was like let's suck, let's draft a quarterback, and then we committed to Baker, which I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Even if there's downs, I'm going to be with Baker because you know what? Baker is buying into Tampa. He's buying into Tampa. He's a Tampa guy. He's a Pirate. Also, I heard he's selling his house in Texas, which is a big deal. Full-time Tampa resident. He's all in. I'm ready to make it work. And I don't think I'm getting on like too high of an expectation for being a Bucs fan right now.
No, I just
been keeled.
I think my issue is that it's just inconsistent. Like I can deal with a fan of a team that's like down on their team, and I can deal with like an arrogant fan, but like it feels like your arrogance is misplaced. Like you're arrogant about this year's version of the team, but then like not arrogant about the versions of the teams that won Super Bowls.
Hold on.
So I don't know how to talk to a fan that like doesn't care that he won a Super Bowl a few years ago, but is like super amped about this team. That like might make the playoffs, maybe.
There is so much context. I don't think that the chat cares to hear me go around in circles because I know at the end of the day, if people hear the word Super Bowl, they just open their mouth and they're ready for insertion. I think there's a little bit of context here. And I think whoring ourselves out to sign Tom Brady for 2 years, yes, he helped us get a Super Bowl. Yes, the defense was incredible in that run. But it pained me to see the box score and watch that game and just see everything was going on between Brady and Gronk, who are Patriots, Hall of Fame Patriots, who you hated your whole life. Oh, and apparently I got to flip a switch. I hate him too, but I got to flip a switch. And then, Leonard Fournette and fucking Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown's great. All-time Bucs legend, right? No, it was
playoff
just
Lenny. What's not to love about playoff
listen,
Lenny?
Super Bowl's great. Like I said, I'm happy for the guys, but I want to earn it. This feels like earning it. That wasn't earning it. That was whoring ourselves out. That's a separate conversation. I know nobody's going to agree with me with, but I'm not going to pretend that it's not how I feel. It's how I feel. This year's Bucs, I think, are going to be a problem. Not that they're going to win fucking 12 games. I'm not saying that. I didn't bet on the Bucs win total. I'm not overly confident. The only thing I have on the Bucs is Baker Mayfield over touchdown passes, Baker Mayfield to lead the league in touchdown passes, and Todd Bowles Coach of the Year. Oh, and Chris Godwin receptions. As of right now, I'm very, very happy. The defense concerns the fuck out of me. And like I said, that is where I think the Falcons can show up today. It's a short week, but you've got Kirk Cousins at least at the helm. He's not, he's used to it. The coaching staff, though, to prepare for a short week, maybe it would give me a little pause if I were you, but you don't seem to care because your Falcons were favored to win the division. They're 2-2. They're -1.5 in this game, and you think they're going to win because you don't respect the Bucs.
Yeah, pretty much. Can you rank the NFC South teams for me?
Yes, I would say Bucs 1.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, I guess I would have to say Falcons 2, even though it was crazy that they barely beat the Saints with no offensive line, no touchdowns.
Close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
Sure. So Bucs 1, Falcons 2, Saints 3, Panthers 4.
All right.
How would you rank them?
Falcons 1, Saints 2, Buccaneers.
That's
Panthers 3, Buccaneers 4.
Are you just saying that to just rile me up?
I would put Saints above Bucs. Yeah.
Oh, is that because they should have just beat you?
No, Saints are the better team.
The Saints
statistically, metrics, preseason evaluations.
You're just saying. I
will say I like Todd Bowles better than Dennis Allen.
Who the fuck doesn't? Also, the Saints had a 7.5 win total. You don't care about that?
What was the Bucs win total?
I don't remember actually. Might have been 8.5. Okay, so let me ask you this, and we're gonna wrap it up here pretty soon because I do have to get out of here. Thank you for hanging out, by the way. This has been great. You're on Baker over completions. You're on the Falcons to win.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have a Falcons prop?
Yeah, I didn't say it, I don't think, but I like Bijan over 90.5 rushing and receiving.
90.
Everyone's being like, bench Bijan, Tyler Algier is the guy. Tyler Algier had one good game. Let's relax. They're still going to feed the ball to Bijan. The Bucs can't stop the run.
I'm good with that. Okay, that's fine. That's fair. And then touchdown score.
Ooh.
Bijan?
Oh, no. I mean, Bijan. I'll go. I don't have the odds in front of me. I'm going to bring it up, but I'll go. Ray McLeod.
Kate Otten.
I like Kate Otten for the Bucs.
Yeah.
What's Kate Otten's odds?
Bucky.
Plus 360, at least at one book for Kate
Otten. This concerns me. This guy saying the Buccaneers are winning. I don't want people to think the Bucs are going to win. It concerns me when people see an underdog thinking they should win. I'm a little bit nervous. That's my problem. So
yeah, it's a pick 'em pretty much. 1.5 point underdog.
Congratulations on the win tonight. I think it's only right that the Falcons are 3-2, and you should hold your head up high because you definitely earned all the victories through this 5-week span, and it's going to be a great race for the division. Are you as of right now, if you had to give the Falcons a record, what would you give them? 10-7?
It is so hard because all the easy teams that were supposed to be bad on our schedule have turned out to be good. Like all the third place teams that we have to play against, like the Seahawks and the Vikings and the Steelers, who we already lost to. So our schedule went from being very easy to now it actually looks pretty difficult. I'll say 11-6. And the offense is going to get better as the season goes on. That's banking on that idea. If the offense doesn't get better, then we'll win 7 games again. We'll go 7-10 for the fourth.
Okay, fine. At least you have that because again, between you and the people that are in the chat, the followers that I have who bet on the Falcons, I can't believe the delusion with this team. Like you guys think this team is capable of being so much better than they actually are. It's crazy.
Correct. Now I will say there's not a single game on the rest of the schedule that's a loss. The Chiefs in my head were a loss. The Eagles preseason I thought was a loss, but we ended up pulling that one out. There's not a single game the rest of the year where I'm like, okay, that's a loss. Like every single game is going to be. I think our hardest game the rest of the way it's Cowboys.
Are you being serious or are you just fucking with me again?
I don't think we're going to be anything more than we're not going to be more than a 3-point underdog against anyone.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So okay.
I'm not saying we're going to be favored in every game. I'm going to say there's not like a team that I'm looking at where it's like where I'm automatically saying that's a loss. Like if we were playing the Chiefs late in the season, I'd be like, that's a loss. Like, you know what I mean? Like we're going to be a 3-point underdog or less in every game.
That's fair. And for what it's worth, Ian, I like you as a fan. I think you are a good sports fan. The last question I have, and then we'll wrap it up here. I don't even know what time is it. Oh my God, it's almost 12:30. The last question I have is this: if the Bucs win this game, how upset are you going to be?
Decently upset.
Yeah.
Because what's going to happen is then because we play again in like 3 weeks, like it's not long. It makes the game in Tampa Bay a must-win for the Falcons because these divisional games, because most likely, just like last year, there's going to probably be 2 teams finish with the same record. Having a good divisional record is going to be absolutely pivotal. So losing in Atlanta is then going to make the game at Tampa Bay literally a must-win, in my opinion. So I'm not pushing the panic button, but my finger will be over the panic button if we lose. Well, I think this game's more important for Atlanta than Tampa Bay.
I will tell you this, and I could be wrong. My experience as a Bucs fan, I've actually been to games in Tampa where the Falcons have come to town. I feel like the Bucs and Falcons always split, and I feel like the Falcons actually tend to play better in Tampa than they do when they play the Bucs in Atlanta.
Which means if we win tonight, we're in a great spot.
Yeah, right. I think for whatever reason, and I don't know how long I don't have anything to back it up. But I mean, didn't the Bucs beat the Falcons in Atlanta last year? I think they did.
They did split last year, and I think it was. Yeah, I think it was the flip.
So I think they fucking won last year, but I don't really remember. I can't envision the game. Anyways, I think it's going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be high scoring. Like I said, end of the day, I think the Falcons are going to win. I can't bet the Bucs. I will bet the over. Maybe I'll join you on a Baker Mayfield prop. But regardless, Ian, thank you very much for coming on. This has been fun, and I wish you all the best. But in truth and complete honesty, the amount of Falcons slurping and love that I've seen this first 5 weeks. I'm not kidding. I am starting to really, really wish like bad things on the Falcons. Not like any harm or anything, but like it wouldn't upset me if I feel bad for teams sometimes. Like if all they do is lose, I would be totally okay if the Falcons went like 0-8 the next 8 games. And I don't really
slurping has been going on with the Falcons. I haven't seen that at all.
That's because you have your head so far up the Kool-Aid man's ass with everybody else who's bet on this team and who is a fan of this team. It is just Kool-Aid for everybody out there. So listen, again, the only team that I really want to lose every single game when they play is the Baltimore Orioles. The Falcons are starting to be next in line.
You hate the Falcons more than the Saints?
Absolutely. And
I was going to actually like say before I signed off that I actually hate the Bucs a lot less than the Saints. So,
and now that your opinion's changing. Well, the thing about the Saints is like, dude, they came in the season. Nobody gave a fuck about them. Everybody's fading them. Like they had their, their love and their hype last year with Derek Carr coming in. Dennis Allen sucks, but the Saints don't bother me. They just don't bother me.
Well, the Saints and the Falcons have like a historic rivalry. So
that's true. You guys have a bit more of a rivalry for sure than the Bucs. Yeah. So yeah. Okay. Well, anyways, good luck, but not really.
Are we having a side bet on this or no?
I guess we could. Let's think of something.
All right, we'll think of something.
But it's not going to be too crazy because, like I said, I think at the end of the day, the Falcons are going to win 27.
No, it's like next time we see each other for like the loser pays for the first round of beers.
Okay, yeah, it'll be something fun. Yeah. All right, Ian, thank you again. If you're not following Ian, please go do and Bacon Bets podcast on Apple and everywhere else. I'm sure you can find podcasts. Thank you very much, dude. Good luck tonight. I'm sure I'll be talking shit to you on Twitter a little bit later.
Sounds good. Can't wait. It's going to be a fun one.
I think it is going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a very exciting game. All right. Take it easy, Ian. Thank you. Chat, any player props so far? Yes. Ian liked Baker Mayfield over completions. And he also liked Bijan over rushing and receiving yards. I like, in terms of props, I don't really know what I like. I just, for the most part, just think we see scoring. And I think Kirk Cousins has a really good game. Hate to say it, but I think he has a really good game. Okay, guys, thank you very much for hanging out. Who is BTL on? I never really keep going when this late. I usually go 10:30 to 12. If you are new to the board review, welcome. I see we got Kirk G203 with a new follow. Book a Chew, thank you for the raid. My bad for not giving you a shout out earlier. I don't have my dual screen set up right now. Listen, what is it? Titty streamers? No. I know that people aren't in agreement with me on my side with a lot of takes that have been said. That's okay. It's just one person's opinion. It's one man's opinion. It's okay to disagree. I am okay if you disagree. Don't let anything I said ruin your day. If you are in my DMs yelling about something, I'm probably I'll still respond to you in a very nice way. But at the end of the day, look, I'm going to tell you truthfully. I'm not just saying this to jinx it. I would not co-sign a Bucs bet tonight. I'm not confident enough to put my money on them, but I will tell you, in terms of wanting the Bucs to win, this is probably the most that I am going to be emotionally behind my favorite football team in a long time, truthfully, because I'm starting to really despise the Falcons. And all jokes aside, I mean, not that Fat Girls really has anything to do with it, but I hate that they escaped with a win last week. I fucking hate it. You should go to bed early tonight. You reminded me of 23 years of misery as a Browns fan. Ruined my day. Yep. Bucs over teaser. I kind of like that. Yeah, I kind of like that. Listen, and that's the thing. People have to understand, like, okay, winning a Super Bowl a few years ago with Tom Brady, great. But it's been a long time as a Bucs fan of really nothing to be excited about. Not even worth turning on the TV. Let's be honest. It just really hasn't. So anyways, I'm going to we're going to get on tonight. I think Steak and Greg are going to be on tonight. 7:30, we're going to go live. We're going to have some drinks. We're going to put together an underdog entry, and then we'll stream the first quarter of the first half. I just can't get over your comment, everyone glazing the Falcons like who? That's crazy. You don't think people are glazing the Falcons? That's crazy. Anyways, I'll send you guys over to Book It right now. Tell them what's up. Enjoy the rest of your day. Raid, Book It, right? Book It Sports. Falcons or Fat Girls is such a Falcons glazer. He's in glaze denial. Glazed denial. Thank you guys. Have a great day. Good luck on all your bets, and I'll chat with you later tonight. 7:30 we'll be live to watch the game. Peace.